Hi, my name is Jody, and last week I led you through a creative exercise by tracing your hand and putting your strengths inside the fingers. This week I want to use a heart as a container. So I'm going to take you step by step, and you'll actually see me drawing it this time. So hopefully that'll be helpful. And I hope you're doing okay during this time. I know it's really stressful, and I have moments where I cry and I'm uncertain. And then I have moments when I'm doing okay. So it's quite a ride, and we're all in this together. And I want to offer these creative practices to help you um, navigate these times, maybe bring a little fun and joy into these moments. And these exercises are all really simple to do, whether you have a lot of art skill or don't. And with that in mind, I really want to offer you to be kind to yourself as you learn how to draw. So many people have that inner critic, I'm going to call it, where he or she is very mean to you while you're learning new things, and that critic can really rear its head when we're doing something new like drawing. So I'm just going to invite you to be kind to yourself and patient and to really just have fun and play and explore. So light a candle, grab a glass of wine or coffee or tea, whatever works for you, and just sit down and enjoy. Bring your family members or do it by yourself, whatever works. I'm going to start with just a basic heart shape, and I want to fill up my page with this heart because I'm going to be drawing a picture inside of the heart. So I want to make sure I give myself enough space. And I'm doing it with a pen, but you could do it with a pencil and erase if you need to. The only caution I have is sometimes that inner critic or perfectionist can take over when we have a pencil because we try to get it perfect. In this case, I have one chance to do it, and it's with a pen, but do whatever works for you. So I'm making a hill, and then I'm going to make another hill. And I'm going to put a path. So a path is a little bit narrower at the top where I started, and then it gets a little bit wider as it goes out towards the bottom, like so. And then we're going to put a sun kind of setting behind this hill near the path. And everything I'm drawing so that I can put color inside of the shapes, as you notice. It's just a fun way to illustrate. And also, if you notice, I'm not doing a sketchy line. I'm doing a bold, solid line. I'm committing to that line. It just ends up making the style look a little more, I don't know, I guess a little more certain, really, when you think about it. So I'm going to put rays on my sun. You don't have to, you can. They're just simple shapes. Everything I'm doing is really just a shape. So if you can think about it like that, it's less intimidating in case you do feel not quite as skilled or familiar with drawing. Then I'm going to do triangles inside the triangle because I can put color in there and color in there if I decide to color it. And then so I can keep it like that. I can put little dots here if I want. I'm gonna do something kind of fun. I love swirls. Any of you that are familiar with my drawings, I probably have swirls in most of my drawings, if not hearts in all of my drawings. Okay, so there's a sun, there's a path. Then on this side, just for fun, I'm gonna break this up into more areas to color inside of. This might be a field of lavender, or it could represent the ocean, or I could have done it in wave shapes. So make it yours. You can't get it wrong. This is really just for fun. And now I'm gonna make little simple trees. These are kind of, I guess I see them as Italian cypress trees, which I love Italy. And they're easy to draw. And I like doing things in threes. Threes, it's a nice number. But you could do this to represent how many family members you have. So it could be meaningful in that way. That could be fun. So if you have a 5, 2, 1, whatever. And then I love fluffy clouds. So I'm gonna put some clouds up in the sky. And I like to kind of layer them, and they can go off outside, you know, imagining it was going past the heart there. And then I like to do a little detail inside the cloud. Just little swirls, and maybe even some dots. Dots are really fun to decorate things. They just give a little more pattern and texture. And then if I wanted to, I could put little lines on my path. Again, just to kind of add some detail. I mean, you can see how you could just continue to decorate this, which is really fun. I could put flowers in here if I wanted to. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be logical. This is just a fun illustration. So you can make it really whimsical. You can draw whatever you want inside here. And I love to do wings on my heart. So we're gonna just, it's kind of a shape like that. And then just little, and then it's challenging to get the other side to be equal, but that's okay. You know, it can be a little funky or a little uneven. That's very uneven, but it still works. And then I might even kind of repeat the shape inside my wing. Again, giving me areas to color inside it. And then what else? Maybe little dots going alongside the top. You can see it's just, it adds a little something to add the decoration. And maybe a swirl here. And swirls over here. And I could add words inside here. I could add more images. The possibilities are really endless. Then I think it would be fun to add yet another kind of a border here around my heart. And then I can put more pattern inside that if I want. So I think I'm gonna try to do, let's see, I'll do diamonds. Kind of repeating the pattern of the sun. And I might just stop right there where that line is. And then I'm gonna put a dot on the inside. And then I think I'm gonna do this. So then I can color inside there, there, and there. So I'll repeat that on this side here. And then up here, I think I'll do something different, and I will do just simple lines. And if I wanted to, I could create, I mean, why not? Let's do it. Maybe every other one I put a little swirl inside of. And then why not have even another heart? So I could color that all the same color, and I could color this area all the same color. So it's random, yet there's a little bit of consistency with it. So I'm going to repeat what I just did over here. You've completed your illustration. We're going to add another thing to it. We're going to add some words at the bottom. And I'm going to have you put an I am statement at the bottom. You might be asking, what is that? So an I am statement is an affirmative statement. So it could be I am peace, I am joy, I am courage, I am surrendering, whatever comes to you. It's important that these are affirmative words. So even though you might be feeling afraid or scared, we wouldn't say I am scared, I am afraid. Just because, I mean, that's totally fine if you are, and I get that. But this is for the use that when you're done with this illustration, you can look at it and it'll be affirmative words. You can hang it on your refrigerator, you can put it on your altar. So go ahead and capture those words, maybe on a scratch paper. And then the next step, we're going to put them in the illustration, and I'll show you how to do that. So I am going to put my I am statement down here. And next I'm going to color. To use watercolor pencils on my illustration. If you just have colored pencils or markers, that is fine. Even paint, if your papers may be thick enough. So I'm just going to show you the brand that I'm using. These are my favorite because they're called Inktense and they're super intense as far as the colors that come out. I really like the boldness of them. So, and I'm going to show you how they work. They're kind of magical, really. So, all right, what you do is I'm going to take red and I'm going to just... The cool thing about these is you don't have to be super precise because you'll see when I wet them, the color is activated. I'm gonna put orange inside here. Notice I'm not filling in the whole area because you'll see how these colors will move. So I'm taking my paintbrush, and this is a jar of water. I'm just dipping it in and I'm kind of dabbing it so that I don't get the paper really wet and saturated. And I'm just painting this red. And I could have used more red to fill the whole area and to get even a more intense kind of fill. But I happen to like the dark to light. I think it creates a nice effect. And I'm not being super precise. I'm a little sloppy, but that's okay. The cool thing is if I wanted to, if I kind of clean off my brush, I can get rid of, kind of acts as an eraser. See how that just kind of lifted the paint there? So that's kind of cool. All right, so now I'm going to activate my orange. You can see how it starts to just paint. So it does feel like watercolor, but it's a much more, I would say, precise way to paint, because real watercolor to me is a little more challenging. And then I'm going to activate my yellow. And then if I wanted to, I can always go back over and do even a darker red. I can darken it up and then kind of reactivate it again. But it might have been better if I waited for it to dry all the way. So there's that. And then if for the grass, same thing. I'm using like a darker green at the top because I like the dimension that it gives. And I'll just do this one section just to show you. Then I'm going to use this, I guess, spring green, or what is it? It's kind of a little bit more of an olivey green. And then I'm even going to use some yellow, because really if you look at grass, it has various shades of green in it. Most grass does. So I'm going to wet my paintbrush, dab a little bit of the water off again. So when I have colors together like this, I like to start with a lighter color and activate that because the dark will overtake the light. So if I start with the light, it'll stay light, if that makes sense. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to activate the yellow and blend into this green. And I can even blend it down into the yellow more. green is so vibrant. I love it. Kind of deciding to blend it a little bit more between the three colors. You know, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing sometimes as I'm going about this, and I'm just kind of, okay, so I'm covering up the yellow, but I'm liking the blend a little bit better that way. Just felt a little too yellow. And then, as you can see, I got some of that green on my path. See if I can lift it at all. So whatever color I put on top of it will probably cover it, and I'm gonna let that dry to cover it. So I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna continue to color in this way, and then I will show you my finished painting at the end. Have fun, and I'll see you in a minute. So as you can see, I've gone along and I've colored in these areas, and it's not perfect, you know, I've gotten outside the lines. It's a little bit smushy in places, like this green overlapped into the yellow, but I think it works overall. And I'm gonna just finish now with this pink part right here that I'm gonna get wet. And one thing I forgot to mention is that if you are gonna use paint or watercolor pencils, it's important to have, like in my case, I used a Sharpie because it won't smear when water hits it. So that's something important, a permanent marker of some kind. If you are gonna use just colored pencils, you don't have to worry about that, or markers, because it won't bleed. So this is just a finishing touch. And if I wanted to, I could go in and I could fill, maybe when this dries, this yellow. I could even put like a light wash of color over my words, or I could color the background, or continue to, I could put flames on top of the heart, or draw more patterns up here, or clouds out here, or mountains. As you can see, the possibilities are endless. So the key is to have fun, explore, experiment, be kind to yourself, because you've maybe never done this before. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and until next time, thank you.